Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again, and I guess he's doing another one of these movies. I don't understand why he would waste his time on these, but whatever. What are you gonna do? Like, you're trying to kill me here. Superhero movie. I've never watched it. I'm allergic to bullshit. No, I've never heard anything about this movie. Like, again, I stopped watching these movies around Scary Movie 3 or 4. Yeah, 3. 3. I never saw 4. And I saw Date Movie. That was what killed it for me. That was what killed it. I hated that movie. I hated that movie so much. I remember that was when I was like hanging out with all my friends and taking out and going to the mall and like just hanging out. There was a movie theater near us before we could basically walk to the place. It was crazy. Boy, that was like the only good part of it. But then, yeah, I think after that, like Twilight started coming out. So, but yeah. I know nothing about this movie. I guess they're parodying superhero movies. I guess the Avengers, blah blah blah. But didn't we do that in Disaster Movie? I don't know. This movie looked like another disaster. I guess Brenda from Scary Movie is Storm. So that's all I know. But yeah, not much to say about this one. So why don't we just get into the video? And remember, please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And remember, sign up for my Patreon for more reactions to my full-length videos. Let's do this thing, y'all.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. So we've talked about movies before. The parody film craze that satirized flicks before even seeing most of them. But not all of them are the death of cinema. For example, I heard this wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And I heard this wasn't that bad.
Yeah, this movie was awesome.
But of all the parody movies that came out around this time, Superhero Movie is still bad, but not Disaster Movie bad.
Was this Drake or Josh or something in this movie?
Contrary to what you might believe, Seltzer and Freeberg had nothing to do with this one.
What?
It was instead written and directed by Craig Mason, who created...
What?
And...
No.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see those and talk about how this movie was satirizing the superhero flicks that came out around the early 2000s.
I guess they're not superhero movies, then? Jesus Christ, how did you go from shit to brilliance? How did you do that? No, seriously, I'm like... Wow. That is the weirdest thing I have seen. And I watched all of his top weirdest Bill Cosby episodes, Bill Cosby commercials. That was a weird day. That was the weirdest thing I've seen. What the hell?
There seems to be a little bit of nostalgia around that recently, particularly when it comes to comedy, so I figured give this film a look. From what I've heard, its reputation isn't good, but it's not
Flavor Flav.
that. I've heard, though, there's one or two moments that do work, so I'm gonna look over this spandex-clinging mess to see if I can find a few laughs. So let's flame on Bub with great responsibility, Howard the Duck. This is Superhero Movie. The movie opens with a team named Rick Riker.
Oh, come on!
That name sounds familiar. Why do I feel like I've seen him in something recently?
Yes, you have.
Well, that's a lot to unpack. I'm just gonna make poop jokes, as he's clearly imitating Peter Parker from the first Spider-Man movie.
The story of my life is not for the faint of heart.
Even in a parody, that line is terrible. He's in love with a girl named Jill Johnson. But he spends most of his time with his friend Trey, played by Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart?
Actually, this film has quite a few names in the world of comedy.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, Regina Hall, Christopher McDonald, Nicole Sullivan, Jeffrey Tambor, Robert Hayes, Tracy Morgan, Keith David, Dan Castellaneta.
What?
Even some of the producers like David Zucker, who's a huge name in comedy parody, as well as a supplier of many punchlines in the years to come. So maybe there's some hope here.
Look, you got your jocks, nerds, emos, Frodos.
What?
Or maybe it's still a movie.
Huh.
They
Yeah.
go to a lab for a field trip where Dr. Brent Spiner, no really, I think you can call him that at this point, shows him a bunch of animals they've experimented on.
Don't feed the animals. And please, no flash photography.
Okay, 6 minutes in and got a laugh, not That's already
That was
better than
funny.
the original record of entire running time. A bully named Lance tries to beat up on Rick, but his Uncle Lou, who owns the company, puts a stop to it.
Hi, Norman Osborn.
Are you okay?
Yes, this is healthy golf blood.
Okay, 2 laughs in the same minute. That's gotta be a record for the guy who wrote Hangover 3. He's pushed to the turd corner.
Oh, come
The
on.
animals are scientifically trained to shit in scaly triangles.
Wow.
And, oh, I bet that's not water.
Powerful new pheromone which drives animals to mate called compound H209.
All right, call it leg humping, arm humping, or entire body humping. Don't even
Entire
guess. It's
body
obviously all
humping,
three.
Yeah.
Thank you for not waiting too long to dash my hopes on this film.
I'm at work. That's me at work right now.
He's also bitten by a dragonfly.
What?
Oh, I guess this will turn him into Banana Man. Then he goes home to his Uncle Albert and Aunt Lucille, who think his odd
Banana
behavior is because of puberty.
Oh, what
Take
the
a drink.
fuck?
Ah, the rituals of manhood. Today you have your first beer, and tomorrow we'll circumcise you.
Why?
Some things I didn't know we had to put on a list to not have Leslie Nielsen say. I guess this is one of them. Meanwhile, a bunch of investors drop by at Lou's lab. I'll admit this joke is kind of lame, except for Dan Castellaneta's reaction.
We're the board of directors. Our time is valuable.
Not as valuable as mine, Mr. Carlson. You see, I have a terminal illness.
Your constant asking of questions going on in his head kind of makes it worth it.
What the hell is that?
Aw.
Says he's dying.
Why
but
is this
only his
making
new
me
invention
laugh?
will be able to save him.
You're crazy.
Crazy is hearing voices, talking to cats, dating Paula Abdul.
Also heard voices from talking cats. I don't know, I was trying to save this joke.
No, that was funny.
The machine does its job too well, as now he's able to suck the life out of others and gain super strength from it. Meanwhile, back at Rick's house,
How long was I
Why
asleep?
haven't I seen that?
5 days.
some things I didn't know we had to put on a list and not have Leslie Nielsen do, but I guess this is one of them.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen is
Oh,
not
here's
very
some fart
funny.
sound effects. Because I don't know, when there's silence in a comedy, fart.
What?
Sometimes the issues are that jokes might be a little too old school. Like, you can predict this WebMD bit almost word for word. But then sometimes that old school humor kind of works, like when Jill next door is changing her clothes.
Oh, come on.
You know something has to get in the way, but that was both a really simple but humorously stupid something.
Yeah, all right.
Meanwhile, at school, Stephen Hawking shows up. Alright. Fear not, though, he's not funny.
I haven't had sex in years, Paula. I got a stiff pole for your sleep hole.
Rick starts to notice he has superpowers as items randomly stick to his hands.
Oh! Did we just...
Every time I want to hate this movie, a little funny like that happens. Don't worry, though, it dumps you back into lame.
Oh, come on. Oh, no!
Like that is only reserved for the child-friendly world of Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Rick tries out his new powers and discovers he can climb a wall and also breakdance.
Oh, my God. What?
Sometimes the biggest laugh is just a confused face in this. He's
I didn't see his face.
Sometimes the biggest laugh is just a confused face in this. He saves an old lady from a truck. Sorta. Okay, I'll give 2 dark points on that one.
Oh, my
Tells his uncle and
God.
Trey about his abilities.
We gonna get fame, money.
Don't forget the bitches.
Okay, screw it, I'm jotting these down.
That was funny, though.
Flashback to the night his parents were
Oh,
murdered.
come on!
Stop him in a bit that goes on too long, but it's still a clever idea. And his father's last words being investing advice is also pretty humorous.
Sell all shares of a small company called Google. It's worthless. Invest heavily in Enron.
And stay close to good people like... Nah, I already made a Weinstein joke, but just know I could have made another one. Come back to modern day where he bumps into Jill outside.
You're nothing but an ugly, ungrateful little whore, just like your mother.
Who was that?
My mother.
Mother?
Stop it! Stop making me think there's hope for this flick! He wants to buy a car to impress her, but he's unable to get money from the bank.
That wasn't that funny.
When the place is robbed, though, he accidentally helps the robber, but pretends it was intentional to show up the banker.
Oh,
You
shit.
let him get away with our money. I don't see how that's my problem.
I don't need this. I was 0-calorie Peck from Ghostbusters 2. Naturally, though, his uncle gets shot.
With great power
Naturally.
comes...
Great responsibility?
I was going to stick with bitches, but...
Yeah, we can cut that twice.
Yeah.
What brought you here today?
My uncle.
Your uncle brought you?
He's gravely injured.
Well, then you shouldn't be driving. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to perform a breast exam.
Because boobies, ha! But then there's a great little subtle joke of him taking the papers just to hand them back. This movie's like getting candy after being slapped 5 times by Pauly Shore. The candy's nice, but I don't think it should be worth this to get it.
Oh, come on.
Hello, Rick.
He's approached by Professor Xavier. I'll give him this, we're almost halfway through, and now we get a different superhero parody.
Yeah.
This film would have had 20 in the first few seconds.
Random.
And none of them would be connected to the title. And he takes him to a school of super students.
Why is this
Some
okay?
faces may be familiar, like Wolverine.
My God, that has to be the worst use of Wolverine since the worst use of Deadpool. What a wasted opportunity. But then it's followed by...
Other mutants you probably didn't know existed, like Sneasel.
I'm not even kidding. I had to rewind that 3 times in order to get all the giggles out.
Wait.
I'm not even...
Existed.
I had to rewind that 3...
Wait.
Other mutants you probably didn't know existed, like Sneasel.
I'm not even kidding. I had to rewind that 3 times in order to get all the giggles out. This is one of the most unbalanced comedies ever made.
Some, like you,
what?
gained them later in life.
They keep changing up Xavier's wheelchair in every scene, which I think would have been funnier as a Mad Magazine joke.
Man.
Because all I'm thinking is, when does Tracy Morgan teach synchronized swimming with that skin-colored swim cap? Oh, I guess it's synchronized duets.
Jesus.
You want to explain why I found her hiding in your closet?
Invisible Girl?
Apparently not invisible enough.
I could make a joke about how Invisible Woman is just reduced down to TNA fare, but let's face it, that's originally what she was in the movie anyway.
Yeah.
He's told to make a costume, and he finds a ledge to stare out at over the city.
And keep in mind, that's the better movie. Never mentioned. I don't think I've even watched Nostalgia Critics Fan 4 Stick now that I think about it. I don't wanna.
Just like the Human Torch?
I actually usually...
Why are you...
Yeah, I always think of him brooding and blending into the shadows alone at night in that bright blue costume that literally catches fire. This makes no sense!
Yeah.
Oh, also, he didn't know he could set himself on fire.
I'm on fire! Get a blanket or something! Holy shit!
Half these jokes are like trying to find the flag in Double Dare. Like, you know there's something in there, but is the payoff worth looking through literal snot for it? He does, however, finally become a crime fighter and calls himself Dragonfly. This Tom Cruise section feels the most like a Seltzer and Freeberg joke, and I'd honestly throw it in the same camp if this impressionist wasn't so damn good.
It was good.
I've just, I can fly.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, I remember. This is like the only joke I remember because that guy was actually very good. He also stars in Final Destination. He's a very good actor and very underrated actor and really deserved more roles than what he got.
Is dead.
Somewhere there's an alternate reality where that was the Olympics closing.
Tom Cruise is dead.
Somewhere there's an alternate reality where that was the Olympics closing ceremony.
Oh, God.
Lou finds out he has to kill each day to live each day unless he creates a device that can change that.
So he's
Draw
like
the
Dr.
life
Doom.
force out of thousands of people. But that's not important. It's immoral. We don't do that sort of thing. We're a pharmaceutical company.
How's this movie only have one writer? These jokes are so back and forth. How'd the guy who made this also make this? This dude has a split personality. He's Harvey Dent. You're Harvey Dent!
Yeah.
Rick sees they're paying good money for pictures of Dragonfly, and I think even people who haven't seen the movie are aware of this joke. It gets tossed around a lot online.
Who the hell are you? I know the mayor of Venus. Hamburgers can see the future.
We share the building with a mental hospital.
Oh.
And for good reason, it's pretty great. The follow-up is also pretty good.
It's almost like you're the Dragonfly.
No. See? Look.
Where's the fan edit cut of this? Everyone's always doing the prequels or Lord of the Rings. Where's the good edit superhero movie, super short movie? A robbery is taking place by an evil villain known as the Hourglass. Okay, I kind of hate how legit good that name is. But Dragonfly tries to stop him. Again, this got a good laugh. It's intentionally funny, and the villain costume I can take more seriously.
Yeah.
He gets away, but later that night he sees Jill is in danger and saves her.
That thing is...
Do I get to thank you?
Penis.
But later Later that night, Lance and Uncle Lou drop by the Riker house for Thanksgiving. I smell a pee joke.
Oh, come on.
You can't hold it in. The piss replaces the blood, right?
I did.
He puts together Rick his dragonfly and uses a killer excuse to get him out of there.
I shot my pants.
Oh.
This actor is putting way too much effort into these lines.
What Empire City needs is more cops. And a Hooters.
Oh.
Okay, 2 actors. As Rick tries to confess his love to Jill.
When you look in her eyes and she looks back in yours, you...
Yeah, this is the whole scene, isn't it?
Perfect.
Wonder what the candle's for. How am I missing the randomness of the Leslie Nielsen fart joke earlier?
I know, right?
The hourglass busts in and pushes Anne to the hospital where the doctor says she died. But coincidentally, his uncle also woke up from his coma. And you know what? This guy's delivery is growing on me when he says don't mention the dead aunt, as it could send him back into a coma.
We confused you with one of our sex change patients, but since your wife's dead, you won't be needing them anyway. You just want to keep your spirits up.
Wait, I picked up on this film's formula. We saw something funny, now we gotta see the absolute death of comedy.
I can't live without her! Lucille! Lucille!
How did nobody know how to use their Leslie Nielsen after these films?
I know, right?
Rick says he no longer loves Jill in order to keep her safe. And
well, okay, Scary Movie 3, he was kind of funny. I'll say that. And I don't think I've ever even watched The Naked Gun. I watched the 3rd one, maybe? I don't know. But I really do have to watch him. Frank Drebin is freaking hilarious.
He enters a deep depression. When he discovers, though, the hourglass is most likely going to kill thousands at the World Humanities Awards, he makes his way there. Lou tricks him, though, into thinking the hourglass is the Dalai Lama. I just asked a little boy to suck my tongue. What? This causes a big fight, and Dragonfly searches for the hourglass in a comic convention next door.
Oh,
These
damn
jokes
it.
aren't awful, but man, they could be better given this scenario.
You're killing them all wrong. It's like this. Better.
Yeah, Spaceballs called. You're not Spaceballs.
I've never seen Spaceballs, so.
Dragonfly!
Jill sacrifices herself to save Dragonfly, but he quickly brings her back to life.
What?
So quick, I don't even know I was in the movie.
Only now do you understand.
Hourglass throws a bomb to his crotch, though.
I need you to jerk this off.
Why are you doing this to me?
And Dragonfly uses it to blow up Hourglass, but Jill falls off the building.
Rick, I don't care what happens anymore. If I die happily in your arms.
Boy, that's the worst green screen I've ever seen since Birdemic, man. Like, no. I think I've seen better effects than Date Movie or one of those other ones. What the hell?
Let's just die stand falling together. But Red Balls gives you wings and he flies them to safety. They rip off the end of Naked Gun, which was funnier when the pain happened to O.J. Simpson, for a number of reasons, and he flies off into the moonlight.
I will forever be a superhero.
Yeah, sure, why not? You could end it with... And it'd have about the same effect. So that was Superhero Movie, make no mistake. It was quite bad.
Funny.
But people are right that there are some good laughs in it. I think maybe a third of it is legit pretty funny. Not like amazing jokes or anything, but really solid laughs. I also give credit, they do take time for the jokes. It isn't just countless references. In fact, Spider-Man, X-Men, and just a hint of Fantastic Four and Batman Begins are the only films satirized. Even then, you could cut out X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Batman Begins and not really miss any good story or jokes. But the fact that they do allow the scenes at times to breathe, even for just a little bit, does help the humor. It makes you feel like you're a little bit more in that scenario. And not much, it's still pretty silly, but you need the situation to feel at least a little like a real situation. But yes, when the jokes don't work, they
really don't.
Like I said, they're not as bad as Disaster Movie, but they do take over the majority of the film. I got a decent amount of giggles, which is more than I can say from any of these other movies. But if you expect me to say this movie worked as a whole, then I think the real whole you should be hearing from is... I'm a nostalgia critic, I remember, so you don't have to.
Oh, boy. So, that was Superhero Movie. Yeah, it was not bad. I honestly think I could watch that and actually laugh at that. But It's not something I would watch over and over again, like Scary Movie or Scary Movie 2. And Scary Movie 2. Why is that movie so lowly rated? Like, that movie is hilarious. It's hilariously stupid, but it's hilarious. I don't know. What's your favorite movie? Like, if you gotta pick a good one, what would you say? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And remember, sign up for my Patreon for full-length reactions to all my latest reaction videos. I'll see you in the next episode.